All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Ventures Podcast. I'm excited about today's episode. I'm going to be talking about Magic Link and GitHub CoPilot. This is an extension, a continuation really of this Web2 and 3 product and code course that I've been working through here. In 2023, really, I'm helping a set of students, a set of people who are watching and listening to this podcast, go through different aspects of Web 2 and 3 to learn product skills and learn coding skills. And so this is a screencast. If you're listening to this on your podcast player, you can click on the link in the show notes and get more information and watch the screencast. And if you're watching this, you can also transition at any time over to your favorite podcast player. You can just search for Ventures and it should show up. So what I'm going to talk about briefly today is this company called Magic Link. They have figured out a way to help onboard very easily using some pretty sophisticated technology people onto Web3, because it's kind of a pain right now, as it said in this tweet here. The hardest part about digital collectibles or NFTs or really anything Web3 oriented is how to onboard, right? I mean, even if you're going to buy an NFT, like how do you do that without having the proverbial crypto PhD? So Magic has partnered with Sardine to figure out how to basically allow people to onboard without the need for really sophisticated KYC processes that you need to do now. So Magic has a Magic Connect and Magic Auth, and they do white label services for their wallets. And you can buy NFTs with just your basic information and a bank account or a credit card. And what's really compelling here is that they have figured out how to allow for single sign-on and for authentication and onboarding into Web3 without people creating their secret phrase. It basically just uses their email address and some pretty interesting technology that you can read about at length in their white paper here that really changes the game and allows onboarding to be much more seamless for folks. And so what I actually found interesting in this white paper is that over 59% of people use their passwords everywhere. So password and identity management and crypto and cybersecurity, it's a huge issue. So if we can allow people to onboard not in Web3 not only more seamlessly because of what they're having to go through now, if we can make that more painless and compliant, then it really is a game changer. So for the product managers out there, I'd highly recommend check out Magic Link, magic.link. I'll put obviously the link in the show notes here. And I'd highly recommend exploring this as a way as you're building your next Web3 startup, incorporating different token models, NFTs, etc. All right, so switching gears, finally on the code side of things, if you haven't heard of GitHub CoPilot, I would highly recommend it. Friends of mine who use this, who are writing code day in and day out, say that they would never go back, and that any developer, whether you're a junior, mid-level, or senior level, should use this. And the way it basically works is you're able to give it prompts to have it write code for you, right? It's based on OpenAI's Codex. That's, again, one of these large language models that's specifically for coding. And so this in combination with GPT-4 and GPT-5, whenever it comes out, maybe later this year, it is really meant to be a complement to dramatically impact your ability to write code. And so it's been trained on billions of lines of code and has really changed the game. So if you're not using this yet, it's only $10 a month for individuals, or you can get your team to use it for work if you're not using it yet. Highly recommended. Some teams aren't using it because there's something about it's trained on other people's codes, etc., etc. But if you're able to work in an environment where they're able to let you use this, highly recommended. Again, you just whatever code you're writing, you can just ask it for a prompt and it will write that. So this really is the future of development. The future is here now. Software developers of all different levels are currently using this. So This is, again, from a product and code perspective, these are tools that, things are moving really fast here, but I would highly, highly recommend checking these out. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week. All right, a couple quick things before you go. Number one, I have a general newsletter where I write about technology and startups and health science and teaching people to code. And I write about a variety of different subjects that we talk about on this show. So if you go to wclittle.com, there you'll be able to subscribe, and you'll also be able to subscribe to particular topics. If you're just interested in one or a few of them, you'll be notified right when I publish new content in those areas. Number two, my partners and I at Proto Ventures have a portfolio company called Startup Rocket. If you go to startuprocket.com, there you'll be able to receive coaching guides and customize an operations framework for you and your team and your advisors to be on the same page in terms of what is the appropriate next step for you and your entrepreneurial journey. And finally, if you wouldn't mind leaving a review anywhere that you have listened to this podcast or watched this podcast, it would be super helpful to help those who might be interested in consuming this content as well. Thank you.